my God, I'm so nervous.
I'ma get $1 million in the bank.
What up, y'all? It's Torre, and this is Rap Latte.
And I'm King Green. These are deeper conversations about hip hop. And we got James Francis, my guy, your guy, in the building so he can help Toure talk about bully, because we shouldn't even be talking about this shit.
Because Green doesn't want to talk about bully at all. And I respect your position, but I do want to talk about it a little bit. James, there is, when you came on and like I listened to it, you had that face of like, oh my God, I just saw a dead body, because of course we got a horrific Kanye line, or it's just a horrific verse. Do you want to read the verse so that I don't get canceled?
No, but he's gotta like, he's gotta censor it.
Yeah, I'm
say
gonna
Hitler.
You're right. Right? This is World War III, and Kanye is blacking out.
I'm just so done with Kanye, honestly. Where's the lyrics?
Stupid. Yeah. He's trying to find it, but either way.
Oh my God! Oh my gosh!
He's like, I don't want to say this.
So he says, they're telling me that I'm a bully. Also, let me precursor this. I'm quoting Kanye before this
Cut that part out.
Before this gets
Clip starts here.
Clip starts here. They're telling me that I'm a bully. I'm anti-Semitic fully. They say and I'm acting like Hitler. But how am I acting like Hitler when I'm an effing N-word? Hard ER, by the way.
Hard ER.
Hard ER. They telling me, get off of Twitter. I voted for Trump, not Biden. Know some N-words that went to that island. Why the F would you go to that island?
Epstein Island.
Went to the dentist to get me some
nitrous. This is a troubled man.
Yeah.
We can stop there.
Hold on.
James can't even read it.
I can't read
it. The verse ends, rockin' swastikas, because all my niggas Yahtzees, he does not say Yahtzees, reading Mein Kampf 2 chapters before I go to sleep. And it's like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. James, what the fuck? I think he's the king of trolls, but
what the fuck, Kanye?
It's so
That's the
ridiculous.
name of the video.
Yeah, I don't know what Kanye is trying to achieve right now. If anything, just pure outrage. I feel like I'm so desensitized to the tweet side of stuff. I didn't think about that. But when it's in the music, no, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, when we can put the tweets in one category, and I don't necessarily believe in separating the art from the artist, but like Twitter is one thing, but like, yeah, he keeps talking about that stuff in the music, so you can't separate the art from the artist. When he's in the records talking about, you think I'm anti-Semitic? Well, look at this. I read Mein Kampf 2 hours a day. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's crazy. Like I said, we shouldn't be talking about this, but this is what we're going to talk about. If you listen to the record, everybody, this is the video you need to watch so you don't have to listen to the record if you were kind of curious. Well, number one, it's trash. It sounds like a draft. I didn't even really listen to it. Number two, me and James both noticed that this nigga uses AI. So that means someone like me, who's a songwriter, recorded a verse and he just put an AI filter over it and said, hey, that's my voice. It's not even him performing these songs. He didn't even write it or perform it. So for most of it, maybe all of it, maybe a little bit of it, the ones that I've heard. So why would we listen to this guy? Then we could post up a whole bunch of his tweets that are just beyond out of line. The stuff about Jay-Z's kids, the stuff about hitting women, the stuff about Puffy, all these things. He's crashed out to the highest level and then released a link to his album that Toure just had to listen to. And then
well, yes, I have been on the Kanye train for many years since album 1, it's been a roller coaster of ups and downs. There are moments when you're fighting against liking Kanye, when you're embarrassed to like Kanye, when you're through with Kanye, you're done with him, then he loops you back in, then you're like, I'm done with you again. And like, yeah, I do want to see where you are. I could never be a fan as far as like riding around, rocking the shit, listening to it over and over. But
Yeah.
after a long career of aesthetic choices, many of which were great, hasn't made a great album in many years, but has many great albums and many great songs. I just want to see where you are at this point. I just want to look. Is that so wrong just to have a look-see at where a nigga is right now?
James, how do you feel about that?
I think I'm just so like desensitized to Kanye. I feel like because like at that period of time, because Kanye's always been controversial, but at that period of time, I wasn't really roped into like the cult following that Kanye had. I really liked Graduation. I really liked Late Registration, and that was it for a long time. It took a long time for me to come around to some of his other albums. Like I also liked Dark Fantasy and College Dropout off the gate. But yeah, I think by the time I actually caught up with liking Kanye is when he started pushing the boundary more than he does normally. So I don't feel the same inclination of like, oh, like let's see if Kanye will actually land this time. I'm just like,
that's interesting because there is different versions of Kanye. So you said you got into him like what, Pablo era?
yeah, like Pablo time.
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense because if you go from Pablo to now, you dropped off like right after Pablo. He dropped off heavily right after Pablo. So you don't have this like inclination or this nostalgia for like, oh, College Dropout and the time period and the essence and what he represented.
Not when they dropped. I have the context for when I listened to them, and they were brilliant.
But how you feel now about Kendrick is how a lot of people felt about Kanye when he was going through it. Like the energy around Kendrick, Kanye was there around Glow in the Dark tour, Graduation. He just finished telling Bush that he hates black people. We're like, this is the guy. We appreciate him. He's wild, but he's speaking for us. That was the thing. And then we had a whole conversation where we're going to put it on the channel with Justin, where Justin feels like there's a loss there for him because it's really messed up for someone to go literally to the polar opposite. This is 180 like a motherfucker. So yeah. Kids See Ghosts in Daytona is the last great things Ye has been on to me. Daytona is great and all, but a lot of those things is like, sometimes I'm like, what did Kanye do in these situations? It's like, I don't know. You know, Kids See Ghosts is like, there's the Cudi side, the songwriting needs to be there too, and the point of everything. But either way, so we went through the tracks, we've heard it. Is there, for the people who listen to YouTube, is there something just ear-wise, ear candy that you guys enjoyed?
No.
No. Okay. Some of the production is like the production on Preacher Man was actually okay, but there's nothing where I'm like, oh, this is competitive with like anything Kanye album. No. No.
I didn't really feel like there was much that was fully structured as if it was completed. So like, are there just fully songs with hooks and structure and choruses and like maybe Preacher Man, but it feels like drafts and a mess, and there was definitely nothing that there were moments of ear candy here and there, but nothing that I was like, oh wow, this is an interesting musical thought that I want to listen to again.
Yeah, it's like the whole Vultures 2 drop. Oh, it wasn't even Vultures 2. The whole Donda 2 drop, like everyone was so geared up for it, and then a lot of the ideas were just not fleshed out.
I haven't heard that. That's why Donda 2 never really came out. Like it never went on streaming, right?
It never went on streaming.
I mean, my God, James, what's that? There's this long, just like me, I guess, interpolation where he's doing this auto-tune singing of this beautiful, I believe it was the Carpenters song, which is like
It's of Close to You, but I think
Close-
it's specifically the Frank Ocean version of Close to You. I think
okay.
because Frank Ocean did a version of Close to You on Blonde, right? So I'm pretty sure it's interpolating, as in Kanye's interpolating that version of Close to You.
It's interesting because I've been listening to a lot of Frank lately, inspired by the snippet, and when I listened to Kanye and I thought, wow, this sounds really Frankish, I was like, no, you're just seeing that because you're obsessed with Frank and Blonde this week. But you're like, no, this
it's there.
turn. He is trying. He is clearly inspired by Blonde in that direction, which is so bizarre. You can't do that.
Which
shit.
I don't think he's even doing. I feel like some younger artist who's clearly inspired by Frank, because what young artist who's singing is not inspired by Frank, sang that. Not even I know a younger artist sang that. Whoever it is, Kanye put the filter on it. This nigga didn't do shit. This is not even a Kanye album, if you're really thinking about it. And I'm maybe he sampled the shit, and then he takes the thing that I hate the most that I heard when skimming through it is I heard my guy MF Doom's beat for One Beer, and this nigga's doing some bullshit all over it. Like, what is this bullshit you doing over MF Doom? No, all caps when you spell the man's name.
Also ruined the chop of it. Like, because he tried to re-sample it, and
exactly
he just ruined
the beautiful chop, which made it so beautiful.
It's the whole point. The chop is the whole point.
To have that perspective, to make that chop for One Beer is what makes One Beer what it is.
There isn't really rapping on this that much.
No.
Nah.
And like, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like when you rap. I don't love it, but like there's more singing than rapping, which is weird.
That's why I said it was like 808s. Like I made a quick judgment. I'm like, oh, this is him doing his regular sample thing, a little bit more spaced out, kind of like Donda-esque without the drums and singing like it's 808s again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But him not even singing because it's someone else singing, and he just put the filter on it. Let's always remind the people that this is not even a Kanye album, guys.
It's AI.
It's not even a Kanye album. I put this in the chat. You're muted again, Toure, Professor Scott.
Muted on purpose because there's other people here at my house. There is an interesting discussion to be had, and perhaps AI is a little bit different, but like he believes that artists should be trying AI as another way to manipulate and to use the voice and create music. Perhaps AI is different, but has there not been that discussion throughout the development of technology of like, oh, you didn't use any instruments, you used a sampler, you used auto-tune,
I was on the side of that conversation. I was on the side of the conversation that I do think AI can be used as a tool. And I'm pretty sure James agrees with you. Let me know what you think. But I think AI can be a tool. It's about how you use it and what you're doing with it. You know what I'm saying? So, like...
So you want to be more creative than he's doing on this album?
A young man that I appreciate, what's my guy's name? John Bellion made a song where he's talking about his younger self, and in the chorus he does a call and response where it's his voice but as a child, and he used AI to make himself sound like a child. To me, that's brilliant. I think that's a brilliant way to use AI. Kanye did say one thing that I agree with. Nowadays you could split up an old song and sampled maybe just the keys, just the drums from Otis Redding, just this vocal or the guitar lick, and now you use that in a sample. That's a beautiful thing that you're able to do now because of AI. I also don't even like how we call it AI because it's not something thinking for itself. It's not artificial intelligence. It's algorithmic generative tools. They're not some they're not typing something in the computer and they're coming up with these things. So I do think there can be tools. You tell me what you think, James.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like the conversation you guys were having the other day about like imagination, right? Or like people who are imaginative writers, people who are intelligent writers. I think it's the same for the use case for AI. I feel like Kanye, especially on this, has used AI as a crutch rather than as a creative tool. He's using it because he can't be bothered rather than because he's using it as creative expression. Like you, what songs on? It's "On and Off the Drugs" by JPEG Mafia. That sample is an AI sample. That song is so creative. The way that JPEG flips that sample is super creative, and nobody has complained that the sample is an AI sample because he's done something clever with it. He's also taken the sample and produced with real instruments around it, and that's the best. That's the best song on that JPEG album. So I think it can be used correctly. I just think that Kanye is being lazy because he knows he can get away with it because of how many stans are in his fan base.
No, you make a good point that any tool can be valuable. It's can you bring creativity to it? And if he uses a bunch of AI on this album and I as a civilian listen and I can't hear that, then he's failed because he hasn't used the technology to go beyond what a human being could do. He should be using AI to do things that he could not do, not things that he does not want to do. Not that I don't know what else he's doing. He's not taking care of his kids. He's not dealing with
not even designing any clothes.
You know what I mean? You're getting other people to write the shit for you. You get other people to produce the shit for you. What are you so busy doing that you can't?
What are you doing?
What are you doing on the album? What is your contribution? Yeah.
But that JPEG statement was really beautiful because he did great with that.
That there's a spirit in the Kanye voice, in the way he spits, a self-confidence deep down that is attractive. And it's not evident in this, partly because I think the AI can't replicate that.
Yeah, I think the whole Kanye thing is just, I think he's so used to, or at least recently anyway, he's so used to getting away with being complacent and knowing that people will accept it just because it's Kanye. I feel like a lot of people have gotten to the end of their rope with that sentiment. There are still people, obviously, who are going to ride for Kanye regardless, but like, even if you can tell it's AI, like I don't think people actually, I mean, some people do, but I don't think a lot of people actually have a problem with it being AI. And if you can tell, it's just whether it's creative or not, because there's so many things people can tell it's AI, but they're like, oh, that's a really creative way that you used it. It's both not being creative and I can hear that you just can't be bothered. Like, that's going to turn off anybody who cares about your music in any kind of way.
And I think most people, one, can't tell, and two, most people don't care. Because music is an emotional experience where it's like, make me feel good. People listen to lo-fi hip-hop, right? I think right now, something like 45% of lo-fi hip-hop on YouTube is AI. And people be listening to these YouTube pages of AI lo-fi hip hop. So they do not care. Another person says right here, which I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish, Torre. AI steals from other musicians who never gave their permission to be used until we solve the problem. It's not good for musicians. That is talking about AI like Suno AI and all that.
Yeah, like
that's a whole
AI.
That's when you take from all these people and you do this generative AI thing. What's happening with this filter is this is his voice. So he's not stealing from himself. It's his own voice. And he took this person and put his filter over and did his own voice. It's completely different.
When you say people don't care, I think a lot of fans don't know. And I think and what I'm resting that on is the large backlash against autotune that happened decades ago. There was a period when a lot of rappers started using autotune, and at first we didn't care because it wasn't being smushed down our throats, and then it was like most rappers are using autotune and a lot of singers were hearing it too much, and now we're like, we do care, we don't like it. It's, and our taste for this has gone, and Jay-Z and others did their part to sort of push back against it with death of autotune and other things, saying, okay, enough of that shit. And the music moved away from that because we could hear it. This one, most of us can't hear it, so we're not up in arms because we don't know that it's there.
I think it's different because auto-tune, first of all, everyone got used to it and everyone was okay with it. So it was, Jay-Z did Death of Auto-Tune after T-Pain was doing that. What happened right after Death of Auto-Tune? Kanye, T-Pain make freaking 808s and heartbreaks, and then everyone uses auto-tune up until this day. And auto-tune just got so much better that we don't even notice it. But most people's voices on songs are artificial. They're artificial versions of their real voice.
But we don't know that.
That's my point.
We don't mind. If it's good enough that we don't know, then we'll accept it because we don't know
No.
something's happening. We don't know you're getting enhanced.
No, what I'm trying to say is, so if you don't know about AI and someone says, "Hey, this is all AI," people are still gonna listen to it. Is my point. And we got some super chats though. Let's get these super chats in here real quick. We got Green is right. The new DAWs are using AI as tools, very much so. Generative tools boost creativity when used wisely. I would completely agree with that. It enhances. You have to have human intelligence to go against your artificial intelligence, and if you're using these things to enhance yourself, I don't see a problem with that. But if I can see it as not an enhancement, like what Ye is doing, I don't fuck with it. Matt Hemming, I'm a simple man. I see a man self-identify as a Yahtzee. I go full Indiana Jones. As for LLMs, they exploit poor folk in Africa, pay pennies to suffer trauma, filtering the worst impulses of humanity. I don't disagree with that. And the exploitation that happens there is an exploitation that happens because of our power grid, because of the cobalt that we get from Africa. And it's a larger problem beyond just artificial intelligence, beyond just crypto. We have an energy and resource suffrage problem that is bigger than these things that happen because of the larger problem. The of resources and energy is the actual issue. But anyways, y'all thoughts on AI? Your thoughts on the autotune AI analogy, James?
Yeah, I think, because I was saying this the other day, because people were like, "Oh, like Kanye using AI is the same as like autotune." I was like, okay, but also they're ideologically different though. Like in terms of, even though there was pushback to autotune, like people still saw it as a development in music. Like I don't think people see AI in the same way, because AI isn't just in music. People see AI as more of a threat like outside of the realm of music, and so the implications are different. Whereas like the implications for autotune is like, oh, like we're changing the sound of the direction of music. The implication of AI is like, oh, we're erasing artists, period. Like we're like, the dystopian view is like we're moving towards an era where like an artist gets erased from their own music because someone else can just do something and then they're replaced by AI. I feel like that's so ideologically different to like, oh, I don't like autotune.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I wonder, like, where does Kanye move forward? Because he's constantly been moving forward intellectually or artistically and aesthetically with his music, with his aesthetics, as far as where he lives and these sort of things. And yet the public attention getting tactics have not changed for, it's been a good like 10 years. He wasn't really like this around Life of the Party. But after that, it started getting into more of troll culture, talking about things that you're not supposed to talk about, trying to color outside the lines. I'm an independent thinker. I think about things the average person doesn't think about because I'm so fucking smart. Like, and that hasn't changed. And it's been the tweet storm of hate right before the album, over and over and over. Now we understand why it's the attack on Kendrick, Tyler, Jay, and Beyonce, like bang, 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 like right in the last 3 days. Where do you grow up from that? Because that got you whatever it's going to get. You're not going to get any more out of that than you were 5 years ago. So like, when do you grow up from doing that bullshit?
I don't think he ever will. It's part of his brand. I think his public crash outs have always been part of his brand. Even obviously they've never been to this degree, but they've always been
But
part
this
of his
is only
brand.
late Kanye. You're using always. This was not part of his brand when it was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and before that, this was not part of his brand when you were first loving him as a college.
The Dark
like,
Twisted
this was late
Fantasy only
Kanye.
happened. The Dark Twisted Fantasy only happened because of the Taylor Swift thing. He
He's
took
right.
the mic on Taylor Swift, and then he disappeared, and then came back with Dark Fantasy.
The vibe was obviously directed by that, but he would have come out with another album anyway. But he wasn't doing troll culture then.
Yes, he was.
He wasn't. How was he doing it?
I don't think it operated in the same way because social media didn't function in the same way. But it's the same principle. Like
we had Twitter then.
Taylor Swift's he interrupted Taylor Swift's announcement speech. Like it was. I mean, obviously Twitter existed, but the reason why he did it on that public stage is because that was the medium that most people were going to interact with it. He's only changed to doing stuff more on Twitter because more people are on Twitter.
And he has his ability to do that.
Jumping on somebody's stage was rude and trolling and entitled and all the things, and the same personality traits are doing this now. But the long public relationship with Yahtzeeism and with MAGAism been purposeful trolls of us to grab attention, to be like, I'm the independent thinker. And it's like that you can't gain any more from continuing to do that. If it was about extracting yourself from the Adidas contracts or whatever, which his fans would love for you to believe, it's not true. But that's okay. He's way out of the Adidas deal. So why are you still doing it? Like,
I think my personal opinion anyway is like it's an addict's mentality, right? Like if he kept it the same level every time of like, oh, Kanye goes to a award and takes the mic from it, no one cares. He has to up it every time, otherwise you get desensitized.
Right. He hasn't upped it in years. It's been tweets of Yahtzee
I think he's upped it.
I feel like
it's upped.
I think it's the same script every time.
I think it's your okay. Because I'm
what he said with Alex Jones, that was years and years ago. This is the same stuff as now.
Yeah, but at that point,
he's added more.
Integrated, exactly. At that point, it wasn't. The Alex Jones stuff wasn't integrated into his brand yet. Like now, now Kanye is embodying this as part of his brand. At that point, it was a conversation of what he said at the time. The moment was a soundbite. It wasn't, oh, Kanye stands for this. Now the conversation is like, oh, Kanye stands for this and aligns with these people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but he himself has, whenever we aligned him with something, he zagged. When it became too much, oh, he speeds up soul samples, he changed to doing something else. When it became, oh, he's all about industrial music, he changed and went to something else. He's always trying to say, he is the poster child for the bored creative person who gets bored of himself quickly and has to keep reinventing and sonically reinventing. Not a complete artistic reinvention, but there's a constant look at his own aesthetics. Like he's examining every part of his life except for that.
Let me ask you a question. You're as a journalist and as a person, as a human being, really, you're highly curious, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
And to the point, like your 50 Cent story, where it's like you might think to ask a question and I probably shouldn't ask this question. But I gotta ask this question because you're that curious and that's part of your character. This guy's a troll. Like you are curious. That why ever he's a troll, people like to blame mental health or whatever. Why ever that's there, like James said, I think it's more so leaning on addiction than anything else. And it's like, I'm just gonna lean on this. Plus, this dude's actively letting you know that he's off of some nitrous. That's crazy. I want you guys to know what nitrous is. That's crazy. For your drug, that is a rich man's crazy man drug. Like that doesn't even make any sense. So if you're off that, plus whatever issues you may have already, plus you have this innate I need to troll people, it heightened everything. And you have this heightened celebrity issue that he talked about on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. The things that I liked about Kanye, about being able to be aware of himself, which is really his writers being able to be aware of him, being aware of himself, is the same reason why I don't like him now, in the sense of like he just fully went in there. He's told us on Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, he's like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it in America. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, like hold myself and continue to be myself. That's what that album is about. It's like, can I still be me with all of this? It's hard to be humble when you stunting on a jumbotron. He let you know. And unfortunately, we saw him fail at My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. He failed at that attempt of keeping some type of human, non-coon perspective going into being a celebrity in America. Yeah. So we can't say that he wasn't a troll, because he's been a troll since freaking him jumping on the tables in Rockefeller offices and Def Jam offices. He's been that. So that's my opinion on the Ye. And guys, while you're watching this, please like this video. We're only at 170 likes with 913 people here. I know what happened. You forgot to like the video. Just like it right now. Let's get it up to 300. Shout out to Shannon in here moderating too. Do we have any more super chats? Let me make sure. I gotta organize these
Marky
guys.
Grind. Did you read the one from Marky Grind?
There's two. There's one from, you can read Marky Grind.
Marky Grind. AI has been in music longer than Gen AI
orgs.
Orgs have been stealing shit. AI is just fine. It's when people push the ethical boundaries. We don't need to debate Ye's AI ethics. He violates higher ethics.
Physics.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, AI has been in music for ages. Like, even especially in like mixing and like mixing and mastering. Like, this was a massive thing in the music production space. Like, you can, like, in order to like master a track, which is to like get it to the loudness level of like streaming it, a lot of plugins came out where like it would do like AI mastering, so like it would get it to the loudness, and that there was this massive loudness wars basically, and that was really controversial. But people use that all the time. Like, a lot of people who even have like outboard gear like in studios will pick like AI plugins to master over.
Wait, here's an important super chat. I'm not sure how to read this name. Deval DMs. I don't know how you want me to.
It's David MZ. It seems like, you freaking old person.
David DMZ.
Well,
David
D
MZ
at symbol V1 D is David and then MZ.
Oh, okay. Thanks, millennial asshole. Do y'all see any mentioning Kanye at all? And I think you would naturally expand that also to Jay-Z, who he also dissed in a very vicious way today. No, and I think that's the worst thing of all, that Kendrick and Jay will probably not respond in any real way, because they're like, just flick him off your shoulder. Don't give him the time of day. We're not going to give him a battle or a verse or even a subliminal. Like, you're way off the reservation. You're not even like playing the game. You're freaking like dissing my children. Like, real talk, Kanye, after writing in a public forum that Jay-Z's children are the R word, every day breathing, he should be thankful, because
borrowed
Jay-Z
time
with $1 billion could easily call anybody in Marcy, and half of Marcy would probably do it for free, and the other half would do it for an amount that Jay-Z blows his nose with. And Jay could have, want money in the streets? Jay could have 10 guys running around. Whoever get Kanye first get an extra 10. And it's nothing to me. I mean, like, and nobody would front on him for doing that, for saying that about my about my baby. Are you kidding?
It's I don't even know what. Yeah, that part of it all throws me off. Just as a fan of another person's art, you know them as a human being. How do you say that about kids? How do you say that about a former friend's kids, enemies' kids, young black kids? There's no
enemies
place
kids.
where that, huh?
Enemies' kids.
I'm not saying about the ops kids. I'm not saying talking about anybody's kids in that way. That's crazy. Anyways, independent hard R is crazy. I hate the fact that he feels the need to misbehave versus letting his talent show through. I miss the old Kanye. That's the title of our Justin Hunt video that we're going to drop probably next week. They missed the whole old Kanye. I'm good. I'm good.
Don't care.
Yeah, I'm good. We had it already.
The guy who made 808s and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and some of the greatest, most influential music of this generation.
I got it already. I don't know. I'm good at separating things. It's like I have those things. He gave it to me. Another thing too, you know how like people have to like people to like their art and stuff like that. I will hate you, tell you I hate you, and go bump your shit in my car. Thank you, sir, for this amazing song. Thank you. Go fuck yourself.
I think that I as much great Kanye as we got, we could have gotten more. He could have gone further and deeper into his art and his genius. And I think when mom dies and you get into the Kardashian world of it all, and then whatever world he went into in the era of the divorce, those things seem to have sort of subsumed him and taken him over and taken him away from the focus on making great music.
Yeah. And it's a shame, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
do you miss the old Kanye?
Yeah. I look.
You still listen to those records?
I still listen to Kanye. I still listen to old Kanye.
Yeah. So how can you say you don't miss the old Kanye if you still are listening to those?
He's got it though. He's got the records.
Because I'm just like, at this point, especially, I have the context of his public crash outs now. So even if we had the old Kanye, like, I'm just like, that doesn't revoke his absolute insanity. Like, I don't care in the same way. I think he burnt a bridge for me just with all of this. Like, he could make music to the same level. He could go back to separating the art from the artist. It's not going to change the fact he had a public crash out for no reason.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing, that if he released My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy or something of that level now, would we be able to rock it? And I don't know that I would. I might be able to recognize it. I would listen to it once. I might be able to notice it. I would not. I don't.
No, but think about hip hop. Hip hop is such a highly political. Here's the thing. Hip hop is such a politically charged art form, and Kanye has such a politically charged art. So on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, there's a lot about him being a black person in America, him dealing with as being a celebrity that is a black person, him having that vitriol from his audience and the outer audience, him being able to deal with that. All these things matter to make that album great. So now, for him to make something as good as that means that he would have to take what he said and the message he's put out there and make something that you agree with and understand, why did this happen? Did he go through a whole rehab? Because this guy needs to be institutionalized. He needs help. Someone needs to cut out all of this, and he actually does need help. It doesn't make it okay for me to say that he needs help, therefore this crash out's okay. It's like, no, someone should stop the crash out because you have someone who needs help that is out here. So I have to say that he's wrong, right? Now, so this person that needs help, if he gets help, comes back, makes an album, How I Got Help, and I can't believe I did that, and all these things, and this is the stem of now you can listen to him, right? Now it makes sense. But it has to be on there. So he can't now make that album without us publicly seeing the change. You see what I'm trying to say? So you can't just drop My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and he'd be like, yo, the black struggle is real. And we're going to believe him when you just was talking about Yassi's last week. Yeah. And be like, all I care about is my kids. Him saying, you let this woman, a white woman, he's talking about his own baby mama. You let this white woman deal with black kid, treat black kids this way, my black kids this way. But then you just talk about another man's black kids, about how they're are the R word.
Look, I got a huge problem with Kanye. I'm very hurt by Kanye. I'm very hurt that you have been trolling us and attacking us verbally and triggering us all for
You
years
talking
and
to
years
Kanye right
and
now?
years. Yeah, no, it's
He's
really
watching.
hurtful that we have been, you
Well,
made us part of your story, and then you launched on this whole other path, has been so hurtful. And it's sad. It's sad. I'd much rather see somebody fade into oblivion, than, or obsolescence, than like to become this sort of a international troll. It's bizarre and disgusting.
yeah, yeah. I also the thing I was gonna say, like, I my main resistance with like Kanye coming, like making a comeback, is I'm not sure if even if he did that I'd buy it. Like, if you think like the whole Sunday service stuff when he dropped Jesus is King, like he was doing Sunday services, but really like really, if we actually think about it, the purpose of that was to drop that album. It was to justify him being in that sound world, to drop that album. Like, he made Don Dorata that, which stayed in that sound world. And then afterwards he did Donna 2, and then he did Vultures. And like he's not doing Sunday services anymore. So I'm just like, it would
We
like it would have to be
he's
substantiated.
auditioning people to be part of it. He wants to get back at.
Yeah, I'm gonna
after
audition for Sunday service. I'm auditioning. He said he's looking for bald. He wants everyone to be bald. They have to sing. That's me. I could get in there. I can carry a tune. I'm bald as hell. No, but let's remember this too. No, I like this thing that James said. He did Sunday service after the slavery a choice statement, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Who do black people love? They love Jesus. He went straight to Jesus, said, "Oh yeah, yes, I'm back over here now, guys." So, and now everybody went with Kanye and said, "Oh, he came to Jesus. He's Christian again." And now he goes completely the other side again. So, like, he does this. He's a grifter.
Yes, he's a grifter. I mean,
we got a live.
It's good.
Oh, screw. Kanye, Screwface Joan. Kanye is a tap dancing coon, Yahtzee, freaky boy, edgelord who is pushing 50. He knows what he's doing. He gets passes because we told on to hold on to an image that doesn't exist anymore. We use troll too loosely sometimes. He's like, troll is too little for who Kanye is. I love the raccoon emoji too. That really set it off. Another one. Drake wasted. He is. Drake wasted all that energy on Dot when he actually hates Kanye, and taking him out would have made Drake a hero. Drake wasted. I don't like how that statement was framed, because Drake didn't waste no energy. That nigga got cut.
He didn't waste nothing.
He didn't waste a damn thing.
You said it was like that Drake provoked it. You know those videos where the crab is crawling on the kitchen counter and he goes into the hot oil?
Yeah,
like, that's what Drake did. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna provoke this battle with Kendrick. Oh, now I'm
boiling. Yeah, here. J. Cole was right about false prophets. J. Cole was right about a lot when you think about it. J. Cole's looking better and better, like, every day.
Every day.
Every day. And let's touch on this. Speaking of Drake, let's touch on James. Tell us what Drake replied in his team.
Oh my god. So okay, so tiny recap. So UMG, obviously, they responded to, they filed a motion to dismiss Drake's lawsuit because it's BS, and were like, by your standards, we should have not released Family Matters and Not Like Us, so you're just chatting crap, basically. And Drake responded today with basically like asking for discovery on a bunch of stuff, including one, literally pulling Kendrick's contract, so asking UMG for discovery on like what Kendrick's contract actually is. One of them was also like documents from the Grammys, basically inferring that like Kendrick like had his Grammy bought for it. Like, What are you doing? What are you doing?
This is my whole thing about our last video about revenge fantasy. You say these things to get them out in the world so people can use them to actually have a narrative to go against the other narrative that's there. That's some Trump red pill shit. It's literally the most craziest thing. No one's going to give you that contract. No, you're just saying these things to make it seem that way. He's a piece of shit when it comes down to it.
It's all public with that. I just hate it. I hate it so much.
Drake wants to see Kendrick's contract. Wow. Cute.
Also, literally, for what? How is it going to help his lawsuit?
You know, it's funny
his whole
though.
point is for UMG. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, you know, a lot of artists don't get to see the inner workings of what's going on at the label. You want to see the inner workings of his situation? You are what? No, this is wild. This is wild. Why? So we have two big trolls in this culture now. Two of the biggest fucking names in the culture are big ass fucking trolls.
Is Drake a troll?
No. Drake's
He's
a crybaby.
trolling
Drake's
UMG and Kendrick.
No,
He's trolling
he's trolling
Kendrick and
himself.
UMG.
He's trolling himself.
He's trolling himself, but we have to fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
We do got to deal with it. I'll tell you that.
Anita Mock-Sween. What the fuck?
Okay, we got some chats. Anita Mock-Sween. We got some super chats in here. K-Way, dude, I'm a bit disappointed and took the tweet about Jay-Z and Beyonce's kids for people to really hold Kanye's feet to the fire. Personally, I was done in 2016 when he got on his knees for Trump. I can agree with you, but the thing is that also that Trump presidency was different than the Trump presidency now, too. There's a lot of things that was different. So certain people can, I don't blame people for having a different perspective on things when information wasn't there, but I do agree with you that I was done before that tweet. That tweet is just more so like I keep telling people out loud, and I'm using this platform to make sure people know that tweet, which is he said, maybe I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it out loud. I'm gonna read this tweet because you guys need to feel this.
I mean, also he said F Virgil like 2 weeks ago. Like,
yeah,
I feel like that went out of the news cycle, but
he says, you know what I'm saying?
He's crashing out.
It's Trumpy. It's very Trumpy. The whole way that he carries himself. It's bizarre.
Very much. But let's read this so people can not feel okay to listen to this album, because I did a poll and 81% of people said that they wouldn't listen to the album, and the rest said that they would listen to the album, just like Toure.
Okay.
No, but this is horrible,
look,
and I'm gonna bleep this out.
Hey, 63% of the people on this show right now listen to the album. Actually, I'm wrong. 100% of the people on this show right now listen to the album. What are you talking about?
I didn't listen to the album. I skimmed it because
you didn't know it was AI if you didn't. So what? I would have known it was there if you didn't send me the link.
It's my job, though. Anyways, here we go. Wait, it was my job to hate on it so I could hate on it so no one else would listen to it. Anyways, this is what he said. Wait, has anyone ever seen Jay-Z and Beyonce's younger kids? They are R words. No, like literally. And this is why artificial insemination is such a blessing. Having R words children is a choice. That's what he said publicly out there. It got taken down, and yes, these things shouldn't be repeated in the way that he repeated it, but I think it's important for people to know. Cut this nigga off, bruh. Like that's not okay. Cut him off. His music's not that good. And if you like it that much, listen to the old shit. Like it's not that good where you have this like, yo, I have to listen to this. I gotta bump this whole thing and I really need to appreciate it. It's not that serious. You don't have to listen to it. And that's what this whole episode is about. I called it WTF Kanye. Like, what are we talking about here? We got more. And it goes, the whole discussion around the separation art from the artist is weird because art is a reflection of the soul. That's why far right art is never good. It dates back to Rome. I don't 100% agree with that at all. You could separate certain things. It all depends. I think you have to look at everything case by case basis. That I don't think it's like no, I have to like the artist.
It's like you said that Kanye is a political artist, so it's different. There's artists who are not. They write music and their art is not political, that's different.
We
Or
sing.
they aren't putting their social moral crimes or legal crimes in their music. Kanye keeps talking about the anti-Semitism thing, the Hitler thing, the Yahtzee thing. He keeps talking about all this stuff, MAGA, in the music to where we can't ignore it because he keeps talking about it.
He's talking about it to everyone's dismay.
Yeah, I think that I think of the Star Spangled Banner. That is a piece of art. There's a music. When it was written and the things that were in that song is some BS. Everybody still sings that damn thing. Whether you want to, whether you're not, all
Forced
look
to.
at it. There's whether you're forced to, but are you? And then there's other pieces of art that we're like almost forced to learn about and think that are good pieces of art. There's forced books that we have to read in our schools that are like supposedly heralded as these great books and great authors that then after reading it and now when I look back at it, it's like, what the fuck did I read that shit for? But so we can look at these things. Another super chat. If you were popular in the 2000s as an artist, you might be a troll in 2025 because that's what it seems to be the case. Nicki Minaj, 50 Cent, Rick Ross, etc.
Yeah.
It might. Yeah, that's how you got popular. You had to say weird stuff and stand out. Maybe, you know what I'm saying. But that is what it is. What it is. We got what's next on the news? We still got people here. They're still rocking with us. We still got 1,100 people in here. Toure.
What's next in the news? You done talking about Kanye and Drake? You're still talking about Kanye and Drake? You know?
Well, I'm just still talking about Kanye. I'm done talking about Kanye. I think I'm good. I think the chat's good. I don't even care if the chat's good. I'm just kind of good. I think I've delivered. Hey guys, stop listen to Kanye. You guys forced me to hear that AI bullshit, and this is where it's at. Like. That's where it is. Let's see where it is. He's Clayton Bigsby in the flesh, a black white supremacist. This is a fact.
Clayton Bigsby in the flesh. I mean, he is. So exhausted
politics
by
and music
Kanye.
is firstly in the sound itself. He says moving on from Kanye and Drake sounds nice. Anyways, from that, I think that might be it because we had Kanye. Drake. Oh, we have a young person on the show. No, there is something I need. First, before I say that, we have a young person on the show.
Here we go.
And go ahead and like this. We're at 389. Get us to 400. Actually, get us to 500 likes. Get it up. Young person, Mr. James. What is your
That's
feelings?
not his
What is
name.
your young person, Mr. James?
This
Young person, Mr. James. You listen to Playboy Cardi. How did you enjoy it? Are you a Playboy Cardi fan?
Yeah, I'm not like a super fan, but yeah, I like some of the Gaga songs. I like some of Playboy Cardi's music.
I like some of the Gaga songs.
He said the darker song. You said the darker song.
No, Gaga. He's making a Kanye reference.
Yeah, what did I think? I've not done an album review yet. I don't think I'm going to because the whole discourse became about Kendrick's a hypocrite rather than Playboy's album. But yeah, I think it was very mixed. I feel like the songs were either quite good or very bad and kind of no in between. And yeah, I think some of the Kendrick appearances were clearly him just having fun. The Weeknd song was quite good. There was who else was on the album? Young Thug, that felt weird. There was another feature. Some of the future stuff sounded like when Playboy Carti was sounding like Future on,
and you couldn't tell which song. Yeah,
you couldn't tell who was who, and I was like, "What is going on?" But yeah, extremely mixed bag as an album.
Yeah, I made my own version of the album with Crush. Pop
It's
Out.
called a playlist. It's like
Overly. No, it's my own version of the album. I executive produced my own version.
Right?
Overly, Twin Trim. I like Lil Uzi's joint. Rather Lie by The Weeknd. I feel like it's a B-side of Timeless, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Backdoor is actually one of my favorites, which is
That's what I put on my story. Backdoor is really, really well.
That's a really good. That's like 30 for 30, but better to me. Like,
Yeah.
I think that song's better than that. Good Credit just had the like appeal at first, but when you look at it as a song, it's like that's where I'm at with Good Credit. Toxic with Skepta. I really like Skepta's verse. First of all, Skepta needs to come back and go back to being Skepta because I miss Skepta verses. That was a good Skepta verse.
So hard, yeah.
Yeah, and Olympian too. I enjoyed, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 30. And I think I put Olympian in just because aesthetically I liked the beat and I didn't really care for the song. But Pop Out, that's my version of like punk Cardi that I enjoyed.
Yeah, Pop Out is so weird. It's because I saw FD Signifier play Pop Out and like
Don't flag us. Don't flag us.
I saw FD playing it because he's had this whole bit of like not getting Playboy Cardi and just looking so confused. But I like Pop Out. I like Pop Out. I think when you push to that that experimental, I get it. I think it's the in between where like you're still trying to do a traditional song, like but there's no like it's aharmonic. Like when it's there, I'm like, no, thank you. But when you're just fully pushing that like punk, then it's like the Mondrian thing that you keep saying. Like
3,000%. And he did the thing is the first album is him going into that new mumble aesthetic sound, right? Like in New York, I'm really rock, right? They go that second album, Die Lit, is him going into that Mondrian punk aesthetic fully. And then the third album is that the Whole Lot of Red is a little bit of that, but not fully executed. That's why I was like, it's good, but it's not great. The first two albums I think are actually classics for him. They're great albums. This one, the whole goal with this one, the sound seemed like I want to pay homage to trap and Atlanta trap and all these sounds of trap, because there's little things like DJ Toomp and Lex Luger type sounds and flips in the production that show, and it's those that snare roll that shows up throughout the whole album as like a motif, a sonic motif, but it's like not fully flushed out. The musical theme is not fully flushed out and doesn't feel like you're actually trying to say, hey, this is trap and I'm all of it. You know what I'm saying? He's saying I am music, and it's like, but you're really kind of sticking in this one's zone. So I see what it sounds like it's doing, but it seems unfinished and
focused,
not specific enough. Yeah, it seems like he missed. Where the other two he did not miss. So I know he can do it, but this one.
Yeah, no,
James,
is definitely my favorite.
James, one last thing. We've been talking to people about their favorite MCs, not the objective list, but your personal favorite, which kind of says something about who you are.
Yeah, that's a good question. See, the issue is that like Kendrick is probably my actual favorite.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like I feel like people like Lecrae, just because of my upbringing, had a massive impact on me. Like even though like Lecrae is never making any like greatest of all time conversations, but in terms of like in the gospel rap world, 100% like massive impact on me and on my writing as well.
That's fire. I seen what's that young kid's name? DC3.
He's insane, by the way.
Bubbling up. Tura, you gotta listen to DC3. The dude could rap, and he just be rapping about Jesus, but he be rapping about Jesus, and I'm rapping. Like he's rapping, and I'm like, I don't care what you're talking about because the way you're rapping is crazy. And he's like 5.
Yeah, he's 17. He's 17. But
there's no difference to that to me. 17, 5. What the fuck?
Absolutely.
You sound like me. You sound like me. 17, 5. What's the difference? They're both babies.
They're just children. But he's good. He's mad good.
You're not a man until you're 19 or you've been to prison.
But you feel me? But I'm saying he's like Nas in the sense of where it's like, wow, this is just you're just gifted. Yeah, you're just gifted in that range. Like I would expect him to be in his 20s and he's like 17.
No, this is why I keep raving about DC3, because I'm just like he's gonna go so far, like
Yeah, I
like
hope so.
especially like he's gonna transcend just the Christian.
We need to try to
aspect.
get him on the show. We definitely do.
100.
Let's figure it out.
For sure.
All right,
for
James,
sure.
love you so much. Thank you so much for coming
Love
through.
you so
We
Thanks
Fuck
out.
for
Kanye.
having me.